we've got a lot to talk about. Fast Nation, how are you guys doing today? Bright and beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. As you can tell by the title of the video, I've got a few things I want to talk about, okay? So first things first, I got to take these off, because this is going to be a semi-serious talk I want to have with you guys, okay? In the last video me and Michael Sabos did for you guys, he did a top speed run on his Yamaha Banshee. Now, a lot of you probably watch Michael's channel that are watching this video. Some of you may not. If you do not, make sure you hop over, check out his channel. He's got some great content over there for you guys to watch. His last video was around a top speed of his 421cc Assassin cylinder build. Okay, that's a 4mm stroker. After he posted the video, we noticed a lot of hate comments. Not necessarily hate per se, but a lot of negativity around the top speed of his Banshee. So before I say anything, I'm going to set you guys up with a clip right here from Michael Sabos' video that he just posted on his channel a few days ago. So check that out first. I knew I was gonna get him. He's gonna be so mad. Alright, so as you can see, Michael's Banshee went 81 miles per hour. And a lot of you are very negative about how slow it went. I'm here to tell you that 81 miles per hour is really not that bad for a worked Banshee. And here's why. The Banshee, you gotta look at multiple things. Keep an open mind for this conversation, guys, okay? You have to keep in mind, there are several factors here that we have to talk about in what makes the speed of a Banshee. Okay, now sitting over here, I have my 472 Super Cub that I've been building for about, well, I've been saving parts for about 5 years. So you see here, oh, I gotta be careful, I can't show that. That's coming in the next video. But anyways, so the 472 Super Cub, as you can see here behind me, I've changed the gearing on this quad. That is one huge factor in determining the top speed of the Banshee, okay? And any four-wheeler, or any vehicle, car, truck, anything like that. You have to think about the gearing. So let's talk about the Banshee gearing. You have 2 sprockets, and you also have the rear tire size to equate into this. These are factors that are very relevant in determining how fast the Banshee is going to go. I believe, and don't quote me on this, for all the Banshee gurus out there, I believe the stock gearing of the Banshee is around 14 teeth on the front sprocket and 41 teeth on the back sprocket. And Mike, I think Mike said like the 90, 91, something like that was that gearing, and then they changed it to 15 in the front and kept it 41 in the rear. Mike's gearing on his Banshee is 15 tooth in the front and 41 tooth in the back, okay? So that is essentially a stock gear ratio. I believe his tire size, 18s? He's gonna kill me if I get it wrong, but it's very similar to my Banshee. He's got about the same tire size as my Banshee, okay, which is about a stock tire size. It's not astronomically different. It's not like there's a 3-inch diameter difference where he's gonna gain top end off of his Banshee. Basically, I want you to think about that in rotation, right? So as the Banshee's going, your 6-speed transmission gear set has not changed, your front tooth count has not changed, and your rear tooth count has not changed, and your tire size has basically not changed. even if it is only an inch, it's not really going to equate to nothing anyways. So with keeping those factors in mind, the only thing on Mike's quad that has really changed is his engine setup, okay? He's got that 421 4mm stroker motor with the pipes, the carbs, the reeds, the whole 9 yards, which makes the motor itself extremely powerful. And in terms of drag racing, and I can talk about this because as you can see, I drag race. As a matter of fact, here's a clip right now of my car going 9s down the strip. When I built my car, there were things I had to determine when I calculated out how fast my goal was for that car to go. One of them was the rear gear ratio in the rear end, the transmission. You can change your rear planetary setup in the transmissions, and that changes your gear ratio. And then the tire size on the back of the car. These are all factors you have to determine with how fast you want the car to go. But you also have to keep in mind the amount of power that the engine's going to create. And the reason why this is relative to Mike's Banshee is because it all comes down to that ratio. So even though his engine makes all of this extra power, I mean his motor, a stock Banshee motor, I believe is 32 horsepower. Mike's Banshee motor right now is probably making in the neighborhood of 80 to 85 horsepower. That's a huge difference from stock. So all these guys that are like, oh, it's not worth putting the money into it to get the 4mm setup, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yes, it freaking is, dude. Let's think about your application, okay? That's another important factor in this equation. What are you using the Banshee for? My Banshee, I put a 6-inch swing arm on it, so it's extended out a lot further, and it's super wide so that it can't turn over or roll over as easy as a stock width of a Banshee would. The reason why I did this was because I like hill climbs and I like drag racing, and I plan on racing the Banshee at some point. Not consistently, but I plan on taking it to the track. I plan on doing a lot of hill climbs with it and maybe some dirt racing with it at some point. I plan on beating the crap out of it, and I need that 6 inches of length on my swing arm to help me go faster and stay to the ground. Back to Mike's quad. So Mike's got 80 to 85 horsepower. Now we didn't dyno them, but we plan on dynoing our Banshees to see what they make. Obviously you guys know I've got to fix mine because I keep finding these issues on it, which is great because you find the weakest links, you build them up and make them stronger. But in the meantime, we both got to wait because we're trying to link up and go to the dyno together. So just use 80 to 85 as not a fact in this equation, but as something that we're not going to change in this equation, okay? So 80 to 85 horsepower. And think of not your top speed, think of your top speed kind of like point A to point B, and in terms of how fast you can get there. Okay, with a 32 horsepower engine, and I'm just using some random figures in my head. I didn't do any calculations behind this or anything like that. Your point A to point B, that's start to finish. 32 horsepower Banshee obviously would say, you know, we'll say 15 seconds to get from point A to point B. Now you nearly triple that horsepower, and your point A to point B will be cut into almost a third. And there's, you know, a lot more variables in that equation as well, but basically we'll say it'll be cut into almost a third of what it was. So think about 15 seconds versus 5 seconds. There's a lot that's changed in that power difference. Your torque, your acceleration, your overall top end. Like, all of this stuff increases, and how fast the motor will take the amount of weight that you're putting on it and load and getting it there will be that much faster, okay? It doesn't change your top speed. The engine power just makes the quad faster in a sense of acceleration and torque, not necessarily the top speed. But what the extra power does for Mike's Banshee is, say he does want to gear his quad up, okay, and we'll get back to application in a second. Say Mike decides, well, you know what? I want to make my sprockets bigger because I can't go fast enough and I want to do racing and I need to go 110 miles per hour. Because he has that much more power, if you had say you had the 32 horsepower Banshee, the stock one basically, I think it was 32. So you have the stock horsepower Banshee and you start putting bigger sprockets on. Say you go from a 15 to a 19 tooth in the front and you start reducing the size of the sprocket in the back down to a 38 because you're trying to get as much mile per hour you can get out of this thing. This quad would be a dog if it had 32 horsepower and you tried to go 110. It would take you 25 seconds to get there instead of 15. Now let's look at Mike's Banshee. 85 horsepower, 80 to 85 horsepower. Say he goes up to a 19, down to a 38. Instead of it being 5 seconds, it will be raised a little bit. Okay, so for terms of this conversation, instead of 5 seconds, it may be 8 seconds, but it's still less than the 32 horsepower Banshee by a lot. That's still cut in half because of the amount of power that he has to harness to get him there. Okay, so I want you guys to keep that in mind. You're like, well, 81 miles per hour, it's not that fast. No, but as quick as that quad got from A to B is over double, almost triple what a stock Banshee would be, or even a mildly worked Banshee. If you took a 350 through a set of pipes, jetted it, opened the air box on it, or took it off, you know, put reeds in it, put a cool head on it, put some domes on it, I guarantee you your A to B would still not touch a 4 mil. But yeah, so you have to think about things in terms of A to B, acceleration, torque, right? And for your top end, you have to equate the sprockets and the tire size. So rather than hate on Mike's quad, you know, let's talk about the application. And I'm gonna get a little unserious at this point, and I'm ready to put my glasses back on. So application, we kind of touched on this briefly throughout the conversation. Like I talked about the 6-inch extension on my Banshee and the widened A-arms and the wider rear axle. The reason for that was because I'm going to do hill climbs and drag racing. Well, Mike's application is completely different from mine. Mike's application is going to be based off of more MX style and short trail riding. He's not going to do a lot of things that he needs to open his quad up to 100+ miles an hour. So therefore, he doesn't need bigger sprocket size in the front and a smaller one in the back. He's just fine where he is. The testing he does on his quad and the videos we put together for you guys to enjoy. So don't hate on it. There's no reason to hate on the Banshee. Our Banshees are awesome, man. We build them because we love them, and we show them to you guys because we all love them and we all share that passion. Even on Facebook, guys were making comments and they were like, because I actually post our videos on Facebook all the time for all you guys to see, and people were making comments, well, it's only 81, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, it's stock gear ratio, man. Like, that's all I gotta say. If you were smart enough to know any different, you would have known that it takes more gearing to get it to go faster mile per hour. What I can tell you guys is that you will see a difference in this Banshee versus Mike's. Mine is geared differently than Mike's. I have a 19-tooth sprocket in the front. It's so big, I can't even put a case saver on it. Okay, I bought one of those $20 eBay case savers. I can't even stick it on. There's not even enough room. It basically covers the bolt holes where it would bolt with the chain. And then the rear sprocket is still a 41. I left that one alone. But that 19 in the front, 4 teeth bigger, will increase the diameter of that front sprocket. I'm gonna guess that this thing will do around 100, maybe even a little over. Who knows? But the amount of power my Banshee makes is a little bit more than Mike's, so I'm not gonna lag in the point A to B at all. But neither is Mike, because he didn't gear his. So yeah, that's basically what the application came down to. Mike wants to do MX and trail riding. I want to do a little bit more hill climbs and drag racing, but we still love the Banshees, and we still like to make content for you guys to watch. So I hope you guys don't take this video as being sort of negative in any aspect. I kind of just wanted to make this to not teach a lesson, but really but really kind of let you guys learn more about this. You know, for those of you who don't know these types of things, this is a good opportunity for me to teach you about it. And I love to teach people about things. I mean, a lot of you who watch your channel, I try to teach every opportunity I get in everything I do. And I know some of you probably think because of last weekend's failure that I don't know what I'm doing, but that's not the case. I rushed this four-wheeler together at the beginning of the season because I wanted to be done for the whole season so that I could ride, but it was my mistake. I did the Healy coils instead of getting them remachined properly and stuff like that because I was in a rush to get it done. And I had so many other things going on. As you can see, some of you who follow, you know that I'm on a new property now, and there's been some home life changes that have kind of stopped me from spending a lot of time working on this. But now I'm starting to make the videos again, and we've got a huge video coming next, so I want you guys to stay tuned for that. And some of you may already know what that will be, but we've got some things to install on this. We've got to do the fixes on this. We got to get it ready as soon as possible. Me and Mike want to do the dyno pulls. I think we talked about some 0 to 60 pulls. We may even do like hill climb drags. We may even do some drag races because I know a lot of you want to see the drag races between us. This is all really positive stuff, guys. We definitely just want to bring you guys the best content we can on YouTube. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I hope it wasn't too negative. I really hope you guys took it as a learning from my experiences and teaching you guys something new in a different way. And if you guys liked it, please give me a like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Oh, and don't forget, check out Michael Sabo. His Instagram is Michael Sabo 350, and his YouTube channel is Michael Sabo. And don't forget to look me up on Instagram at StupidFastJohn. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.